Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Buying Denver. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Chad Sabalka. I'm a real estate agent here with RE/MAX Professionals, and this is the video series and YouTube channel that goes over absolutely everything possible about Denver. We'll teach you about Denver real estate, Denver people, places, and things. Thank you so much for joining me. This is an awesome video. I'm gonna go over 10 things you should know about Denver before thinking about making a move here. Even if you're just coming to visit, these are 10 great things to keep in mind when you're visiting the Mile High City. Denver is full of absolutely amazing people, epic experiences, and the coolest places. But here are 10 things that you'd probably want to know before deciding to make Denver your home. Let's get into it. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Right off the top, let's go ahead and talk about the weather, right? Let's start a conversation. So the weather here in Colorado will surprise you. I think everybody around the country, when they think of Colorado, they think of Denver, they think of snow, blizzards, and a little bit more snow, right? Well, yeah, that is true up in the Rockies during the winter. We have the most epic skiing in the continental United States, right? But beyond that, when we get snow here in Denver, it's typically not very heavy, and more importantly, it doesn't last very long. Because we are so high up, 5,280 feet in altitude, we'll get more into that later. We have such a small ozone layer that when we get snows during the night and the early morning, when those clouds clear out, there's so much solar energy there that our snow melts insanely fast. It doesn't stick around for very long. And typically, storms move in and out very quickly. They don't typically sit right on top of us because there's such a strong jet stream going off of the Rockies. So when the storm is done, clouds typically clear out, sun comes out, snow is gone by dinner time, and that's not an exaggeration. There is an exaggeration about Denver though. People here in Denver like to claim we're the sunniest metropolitan area in the entire United States, and well, as high as we are, that's just not true. Number one does go to Phoenix. I think everybody kind of expected that. We are actually fourth though, believe it or not. We're squeezed between Los Angeles, believe it or not, ahead of Miami. So Denver has great sun throughout the entire year. You'd actually be shocked to go an entire day without seeing the sun here, even if we had a blizzard that morning. Another amazing part about the Denver weather is we really get 4 true seasons, and there's not a lot of places that can say that. During the winter, we might get a white Christmas. Springtime rains are typically awesome thunderstorms that are just beautiful. Every once in a while, we'll get a hail one that brings a little damage, but we never get tornadoes here. Summers are typically 80 to 95 degrees, no humidity to speak of whatsoever, which is obviously great for the ladies' hair out there. And our falls, I would put up against anybody's. If you have ever seen the Rocky Mountain aspens turn, they're all one giant organism, so they turn at the exact same time. It is epic. It's probably my favorite time of year. Second on the list, believe it or not, Denver is sports crazy. We absolutely love all of our professional sports teams, a lot more than I think we're given credit for. The Denver Broncos fan base is one of the most rabid and loyal fan bases in all of professional sports. Yeah, there's been some down years lately, but Denver holds the record for the longest sellout. At least they did. It was something like 50 some odd years of sellouts. And when you go to Mile High to watch a Broncos game, it's absolutely electric. It is so darn much fun, even if the Broncos are losing. Hopefully they get that figured out. But the buck doesn't stop with the Broncos. We love all of our sports. Talk about the Avalanche a little bit. They have given us 3 amazing Stanley Cup runs since they moved here in 1995. And this past year when they won, Denver became the first metropolitan area to win the Triple Crown of hockey. We won the Stanley Cup championship with the Avalanche. We won the Frozen Four championship with DU Pioneers hockey, and local high school, East High School, won the national championship for boys ice hockey in high school. So Denver loves their hockey. Now, let's not forget about the Colorado Rockies. Yes, they have been the bad news bears of baseball for literally the entire time they've been here, minus one season. But if you have never been to Coors Field on a July evening to watch some baseball, it's a gift. It is absolutely, hands down, the greatest place to watch a midsummer classic baseball game. It'll just knock your socks off. The views, the venue location, the venue itself, the concession, everything about it is literal baseball magic. And because of that one fact, we really do have a pretty huge loyalty to the Rockies, even though I'm pretty sure my Little League baseball team could match up against them sometimes. And last but not least, we got the Denver Nuggets. We have a back-to-back MVP, Nikola Jokic. We love our basketball just as much as every other sport. And recently, very, very recently, CU is coming back into prominence with Coach Dion Prime becoming the head coach up there. You can already feel the buzz and the electricity about having a legit college football program in the Denver metro area again. So yeah, people here in Denver, we absolutely love our sports, but not just our professional sports. That trickles down to Little League, competitive gymnastics, cheerleading, golf. We genuinely just love being outside. We love sports. We love all of it. Next up, let's talk about our airport, which is incredible and inconveniently convenient. It is absolutely amazing how big and grand DIA is. It is the largest, and for some of you conspiracy theorists out there, it's the largest airport in the entire country by terms of size. Because of that, you have awesome, awesome destinations. You don't have to do many layovers when you're flying in and out of DIA. They are right now doing a massive renovation project to it to bring in a ton of new vendors, restaurants, bars, additional security, which has been an issue there, to help people get through more conveniently. But the thing about DIA, if you've never been to it, it's in the middle of nowhere. You're about 45 minutes from downtown, but luckily enough, I think it was about 4 years ago, RTD, the local public transit company here in Denver, finally put in a heavy rail line. So you can get your stuff, Uber to the closest light rail station, take that to Union Station downtown, and hop on the airport line, take it right out to the airport. Don't have to worry about parking or anything like that. That's a huge upgrade that they've been talking about forever, and they finally did it. And I've used it a couple of times. I couldn't be more happy. That's pretty much how we get to the airport, me and my family, from now on. Next up, another national public opinion, and that is Denver was the birthplace for legal recreational marijuana use, so everybody here smokes pot, right? That could not be further from the truth. I actually don't even know many people who smoke pot or have in the past couple of years. Marijuana has just kind of become like alcohol. There are dispensaries here or there. Lots of the smaller suburbs around Denver do not allow dispensaries, so they're not absolutely everywhere. And where they are in Denver are pretty select areas. The city and county planners have done a very good job positioning them, obviously away from things like schools and stuff like that. And speaking of schools, marijuana taxes here across the entire state have done wonders for our school system. It's pumped over $3.2 billion, with a B, into our schools through a program called BEST, Better Educational Systems Today. And all of that money is going to rehabbing schools that need it and building schools for areas that need it. And it has done a absolutely phenomenal job allocating those funds. Of course, there's some tax dollars that kind of disappear. Nobody really knows what happens to them. But it is a fact that in the 14 years that Denver has had legal marijuana, there's been over $3.2 billion put into our school system. That's really hard to hate on. It's done wonderful things for something that has really just become almost... Next up, with the natural beauty that we have here in Colorado, it's pretty obvious that people in Colorado have a love for the outdoors and a love for exercise. Colorado and Denver have always ranked in the top 10 or 15 across the country for being the healthiest metropolitan areas, and that's peaked. We're always number 1 or number 2 between us and Hawaii. People here love being outside. We love running and hiking and kayaking. We love fishing and hunting, and even places like Red Rocks Amphitheater is open to the public to go work out at when there's no shows going on there. If you are in love with the outdoors, there is no better place in the country to move to. Even outside of the mountains here in Denver locally, there is a incredible park system here. There's a never-ending shortage of things to do outside and ways to get outside, get exercise, and get that heartbeat up. If you like more traditional things like a yoga studio, Pilates studio, a traditional gym like I love, boxing gyms, MMA gyms, anything like that, you can't go more than a block here in Colorado without being able to find one. There's a reason that we are always ranked in the top 2 for healthiest and most athletic metropolitan areas. It's because it's all around you all the time. And how could it not be when you look outside and you get to see things like this out your window? It calls to you. You get sick of being inside your 4 walls. You just have to go up, get some of that pine-swept wind in your face. It's really a magical thing, and probably one of the best things about living here in the Mile High City. Another huge thing about Denver, and something that I think goes under the radar, Denver itself is doing a sensational job attracting companies to move hubs, headquarters, offices here to Denver. And with that has come a huge influx in young professionals. We have great places for young professionals to meet, hang out, relax. Because of that, lots of young professionals, lots of young single people looking for love. Denver is actually one of the top places in the country to be young and single. So for all you single people out there looking for love, Denver might just have Cupid's arrow in its quiver for you. To curtail off of that, next up, Denver really loves its food, its booze, and its beer. There has been an absolutely insane increase in the culinary tastes here in Denver over the past couple of years. You can't go more than a couple of feet without seeing a new amazing prime steakhouse, Asian fusion, sushi bistro that will knock your socks off, pho from the gods. There's just an endless amount of incredible food here. No, we don't have a single claim to fame here. You know, if you're in Kansas City or Texas, you got barbecue. If you're on the coast, you have wonderful seafood. But here in Denver, we're really a melting pot of absolutely everything. You can find authentic Italian, like real authentic Italian food, not from New York or New Jersey, but from Sicily. There's great restaurants for that. The Mexican food here and green chili is off the charts. We have amazing Rocky Mountain grass-fed beef here that will just melt in your mouth. So if you're looking for somewhere with awesome culinary options, even if it's just for vacation, Denver literally has an endless amount of options for you. And on top of that, the number of breweries here in Colorado, don't quote me, but I believe it outpaces per capita any other place in the country. We, of course, have the giant ones. We have Coors out in Golden that has been there since its founding. And because of our amazing fresh water here, Budweiser actually moved its main largest brewery to Fort Collins, Colorado, a little bit north of Denver. And on top of that, we have Breckenridge Brewery and Odell's Brewery and Left Hand Brewery. And there's a lot of those like mid-range breweries are picking Colorado because of 2 things. First, our location being centrally located in the United States, it makes distribution better. And because of that water issue. The water here is cleaner, it's pure, it's better to use, gets them a better product, so they set up shop here. And microbreweries, they're absolutely everywhere. You cannot go to a single industrial park in the state without at least running into 2 microbreweries that started in somebody's garage and now, you know, is serving up amazing beer with great atmosphere and probably a food truck or 3 outside. It's a really cool place. And beyond that is our distilleries, our liquors, our spirits. Denver has a tremendous amount of them. There's Breckenridge Distilling, which actually is not incorporated with Breckenridge Brewery. There's Stranahan's Whiskey. There's all sorts of amazing micro distilleries. So if you're looking for a place that'll get you good food, great beer and booze, you cannot overlook Denver. Now, something to take a little bit more serious is actually our altitude. Everybody talks about it. We're Mile High City, 5,280 feet, but there are serious health ramifications that come with that. Now, that shouldn't scare you away, but I want you to remember 3 words: sunscreen, sunscreen, and sunscreen. I don't care if you are darker than a room with no lights on, or if you are lighter than me. You do not want to forget sunscreen when it comes to living in Colorado. That goes triple fold if you are going up to the mountains and going skiing. Even if it's a cloudy day, and you skiers probably all know this, the light reflects off of the snow just like it would off the ocean or a pool. You'll get cooked twice as fast from that, but then 5 times as fast because there's such little ozone there. That's something about the altitude not a lot of people think about. Then the obvious one, altitude sickness and breathing. For the first couple of days you're moving to Colorado, please let yourself acclimate to that altitude change. The last thing you want to get is altitude sickness. I have never gotten it being a resident here, but from people who I have seen get it, they pretty much say it's like seasickness on steroids. It's horrible. It's not a lot of fun. I've actually seen people end up in the hospital from it. So don't overdo it the first couple of days you're here. Typically that will make your symptoms 100 times worse. And a lot of people never even have symptoms. You know, they come here, they have a great time, they leave, they move here, never feel it at all. But that is a possibility that can happen. There's a reason why Mile High Stadium, Ball Arena, and Coors Field all have some sort of mention of the altitude in the opponent's locker room, because it really is harder to breathe. The altitude is a real thing. Take it seriously. Maybe even get some of those O2 cans that I've seen on Shark Tank that give you a hit of pure oxygen. That could actually be a real legitimate help for you. So take the altitude seriously. Remember, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. Next up, and this may not be unique to Colorado, I feel like it's a national thing, but Colorado has always and will always rank in the top 5 places for puppies. For dogs, we love our man's best friend. Literally everybody I know has a minimum of 1 dog, if not 15. We love our 4-legged friends here so darn much. There's dog parks everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I literally mean everywhere. People are walking and running with their dogs all over the place. We love our man's best friend. It's a reason they're called that, and we really take that to heart here in Denver. A lot of restaurants and breweries have even stepped beyond that and really opened it up for pups to come in, to have areas on the patio, dog water dishes, dog treats. They don't shy away from letting dogs into places like that. Obviously, you're probably not going to have a St. Bernard at Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse. But if you're going to a brewery, expect that there's going to be some pups there. Just part of the outdoor living here in Colorado. We love our pups so dang much, so I hope you do too. Last, and probably most important to you if you're watching this video, what's housing like in Denver? So right now in Denver, Colorado, to buy a detached single-family house, a standalone home by itself, the average price is $770,000. For an attached property, a condo, townhouse, patio home, duplex, you're looking at $410,000. Those numbers have obviously come way up from where they were after the recession, just like it has the rest of the country, and have come down the last couple of months due to interest rates. But at $770,000, that actually doesn't even put us in the top 20 metropolitan areas in the United States. As far as folks moving in or out, we have a pretty level playing field when it comes to immigration or migration out. The same amount of people who are moving away are moving in, so we don't really expect housing prices to change all that much until there's some big change in Fed to give us lower interest rates, at which time we expect that price to continue on up, just like much of the country hopes for. One of the awesome and kind of understated and a little bit technical thing about properties here in Denver, conforming loan limits here in Denver were just increased to $742,000. Now what that means is you can use an FHA loan using very, very, very little down to buy a home all the way up to $740,000. That is huge, 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 huge. And on top of that, there are programs through a program called CHAFA that will allow you to put down even less than that or finance part of your down payment. Long story short, there are tons of options to help people buy homes here in Denver. So don't let that $770,000 price point scare you off. There are also a lot of neighborhoods that have great homes for much less than that I would love to help you find. So if you like what you hear about Denver and want some more information about it, here's my contact information again. Give me a shout, shoot me a text message, shoot me an email. I would absolutely love to help you out. I've been selling homes here in the Denver metro area for over 12 years now. Hundreds of families helped make that American dream possible, and I'd love to help you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I love having you guys here with me. This was Buying Denver, Chad Sabalka, Remax Professionals. Stay blessed, guys.